How's it going, everyone? Octopus here and welcome back to Union Cross. So what I'm going to show you guys today is some high tier Coliseum, or I guess my high tier Coliseum, because this is the farthest I've ever been. Round 108 out of 999, and I just want to show you guys a couple rounds if I can. I should be able to one turn or two turn most of these, but the setups I went through. So my major setup is the sleeping line at the moment. As you guys can see, I upgraded to level 28. Now I did that for a couple reasons. Obviously, the bigger multiplier on my Key R9 over here is a 2.7 now, and my Halloween sword gets a 2.3 multiplier. So that was one of the major reasons. I also went over a couple of other setups. Like I tried this one, but because this only has ground, I'm having issues. The higher you go, the more the enemies are mixed, and then you can't really just use a metal that does ground or a metal that just does air. So that's why I'm focusing on my sleeping line, because this one does -60 air and -60 ground, which is huge. So I got that set up. That's my main setup. I tried other ones. As you guys can see, my Keyblades are all here and there. But another one that works really well as well is the Starlight. Now, I was thinking about upgrading my Starlight a little bit, but it's exactly the same because my Key Art Beginning has only ground, and so does my Halloween Town Sora. The only difference is that my Halloween Town Sora doesn't have this debuff. The speed defense of the enemies go down by 2 tiers, but if I use my Key Art Beginning here, it actually copies it, and so now I have a ×4 speed defense down on the enemy if I do the Starlight. But the multipliers aren't as good. Excuse me. So the multipliers on here are 2.3 and a 2.1 compared to a 2.3 and a 2.7. So I'm missing 0.6 damage right there. Also, my Key Art Beginning does not have, what do you call it? My Key Art Beginning doesn't have full guilt, or it doesn't have a good attack boost. I could put attack boost 3 max on it or something, but the whole point of this is that I want to put better skills in this on there, and I'm aiming for 3 attack boost 4 maxes for a reason, so I can start putting them in certain places. So the Starlight will work, but I gotta start leveling it up, and as you guys can see, just by using one level already, I go to 2.2 and a 2.4. But to get to a place where I really want to be at, I gotta upgrade quite a bit, and that does take my gems. And gems, I'm trying to save up for other Keyblades, so we'll talk about Starlight later. That's another setup I did. I didn't use any of these setups. I tried because I actually re-rolled on my Maleficent B. If you guys didn't know, you could farm them in Union Cross. I got extra copy, just one copy, and I re-rolled and I got air defense -60. So my Maleficent B, I threw an attack boost 3 max and SP gauge 2, but then the setup was just not good enough to actually do anything. And this is one of my final setups I tried. I tried a whole bunch. I know you guys can probably give me recommendations. I'll take them anyways, but I went through a lot of different setups, and the whole thing is that I don't have metals that have those -60 traits, so it doesn't do anything. And then I tried using 2 general defense down, as you guys can see, because this one does have some negative, and to get it on a proper metal slot over here, upright blue, upright magic, I had to put in the second slot, and to copy a good metal that lowers defense, I had to put Shion here and then my buffer over here. But because I put my buffer over here, Key Art Beginnings didn't get any buffs, so he was only doing like 30,000 damage. And then when it came to Maleficent B, I was doing okay damage to Ariel, but grounds wouldn't die, so there was no point to this setup because I had nothing else that hit ground enemies except for this here, but this doesn't fit anywhere. And then when you go look at the 3 wishes, the 3 wishes only has a reverse over here and over here, but this reverse is super low. It's at a 1.7. So even if I put like my Key Art over here and Maleficent B here, it still wouldn't be enough damage to take them out. After you do a little bit of math, even if you increase those multipliers to 2.2, it's still not enough. So I tried other setups. If my Key Art Sky had -60 anything on it, this setup would be the best setup ever. But my Sky doesn't have good traits for Coliseum. Now remember guys, these Key Art Sky Beginning and Bonds are really good anywhere else, even up to 10,000 in Coliseum. They're just not good enough without traits to be in high tier. So I decided this is my single target one, by the way. This works out better than using the counterpoints. As you guys can see, the counterpoint here, I have a different setup. There we go. I use this setup to do more damage to single target power enemies, And it turns out better that I use the Divine Rose with this setup here. So general defense down by 2, general defense down by 2. They're both gilded, they both have ground, so they're doing really good during this Coliseum. And then I finish off with Zigbar B, and it does amazing damage because Zigbar B in a 3.0 is better than a key art or a classic Donald or illustrated Donald sitting on this slot over here. Now I could upgrade the counterpoint, but you guys know my playstyle. My playstyle is don't waste it if you don't have to, and at the moment I don't have to upgrade this. Even at 25, the multiplier I think is like a 2.7, which turns out better just to use the 3.00. So maybe later on I might upgrade my counterpoint, but right now this setup right here for single targets is working out beautifully. So my main one is this sleeping lion. Now you guys would ask yourself, your sleeping lion, wouldn't it be better to put a general defense down medal? I don't have any double cast general defense down, so I can't get general defense down by 2. So my alternative is using this, and this turns out better than this over here. Now this is swapped around because of certain levels. This does ground. If it's all ground, I'll put my illustrated Halloween sword here because it has a highest multiplier compared to my key art 9, because his buff's going to carry on to Sora anyways, so it's better to get that 0.6. Even though it's not that much, it makes a difference sometimes, or will when it gets higher. So this is the setup that I'm looking at, and I switched these around, make do, and then I couldn't do anymore because general defense down wasn't enough. But the equal to general defense down is putting a lot of buffs on you. Now let me show you what I mean. I'm not going to show you the general defense down. I could actually, I'll show you the 2 examples, but the problem I was having, I don't have enough general defense down, so I replaced it with more buffs. And you guys are going to see that even though I don't have general defense down, I'm still going to do crazy damage. Now the only downfall about this setup is that your Nova at this level of level 650 and up, or level 600 enemies and up, or even 500 up, your Nova does 1 damage. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do a times 6 buff here. I have no general defense down medals. Now look at my Nova. 1 damage to everybody. So I need general defense down in order for Nova to be useful. And I was doing that. Nova was doing like 40k damage at that level with 1 general defense down. If I had double cast general defense down, this would be a totally different story, but I don't. Let me just move this down here so you guys can see some skills going off. So now I have an attack boost 3 max XP gauge 2 on here. As you guys can see, I almost killed those Heartless down there just with Sora on a 2.3 multiplier. Now if this attack boost 4 goes off, it does, everything pretty much dies. There you go. The entire thing was wiped out without general defense down medals. So it's really, really good to do this if you don't have general defense down 2 or 3 on your Keyblade setup. Because if I take away, let's say 0.2, not 0.2, sorry. If I take away this Kairi over here, not the one I'm about to use, but the Kingdom Hearts 2 Kairi, the one that restores SP, I don't have enough SP. I even used a Keyblade setup that had all medals with SP gauge 1, and that wasn't enough because it took 10 SP per group to actually take everybody else. So I didn't have enough SP to take down the room. If I did, then it would be better for me to take away the 0.2 Kairi, or sorry, I keep saying that, the Kingdom Hearts 2 Kairi, because of the 2, Kingdom Hearts 2 Kairi, and put another general defense down medal, like a copycat, use my key art medal to copy that medal, and then go at it. But I don't have it. Attack boost 4 goes off, we are passing this level guaranteed, because all the other enemies are ground, and I don't have to rely on my key art 9's -60 aerial. So these 2 are good to go from this point. No attack boost has to activate on my key art 9, but the whole thing is that my general defense down is not working, so I had to replace it with really good buffs of attributes or debuff attributes. But because I have a double cast Kairi right here, I can get away with doing this setup, because now this Kairi gives me another buff and a tribute debuff, which is more than enough for these medals to do all this damage. Like right here, 678, not even the same attribute, but I'm doing 24,000 damage almost. And with my key art 9 attack boost 4, I'm doing 30,000 damage per hit. That's 9 hits on the opposite attribute. So I'm supposed to be weak against power. When I face magic, it's a different story. But when I add my general defense down medals, I don't do this much damage. On this stage, if I added general defense down instead of this Kairi right here that buffs my speed, then I would actually be doing, like, it was 25,000 damage the last time I encountered these guys, and they were a little bit weaker. So that's 5,000 damage per hit off because I only had 1 general defense down. Again, if you have double general defense down, this doesn't really concern, but this is some tips for you guys if you are doing Coliseum, even where you are stuck. You don't have to be this high. It's probably better This is probably not going to work at the same on tier 13, because tier 13 using 1 general defense down is more than enough. It might affect it, but in high tier, you either have really good buffs and debuffs for the tributes, or you have stacked general defense downs. But I can't stack my general defense downs properly. I tried a Keyblade setup with Sleeping Lion, where I took away the Kairi, the Halloween Sora, the double cast Kairi and the Halloween Sora, and I added 2 general defense down medals plus the Kingdom Hearts 2 Kairi that restores my SP, which is this one right here, and it wasn't enough. I tried 3 general defense down and just him to see if I can get away with that as well, and it's still Key Art 9 by himself was enough. It was better for me to use the Halloween Town Sora with the setup and using all these buffs. So this is how I've been increasing my play into the whole thing. Like green versus green right now is going to be so easy. The hardest level I have is the one with the healer right in the middle of the stage. You'll see like a big green floating thing that heals your enemies after 3 attacks on it. That's a stage where I have to 2-turn it, which is fine because other stages I can 1-turn after that. So I have a setup where 1-turning is really good and then 2-turning is necessary to continue. So I'm just going to keep doing this over and over and over, and it's a very slow process because I'm only skipping 1 round at sometimes, 3 rounds or 2 rounds, because sometimes I have to go backwards and use something else. So no attack boost 4 went off here, and you guys can see they almost got taken out. So obviously these rounds here I just reset until attack boost 4 goes off. It might be better for me to put attack boost 3 max on my Key Art 9, but the thing is, even with attack boost 4, that group I was telling you guys about, I can't 1-turn them. Attack boost 4 triggers and it does not kill everybody. So that's why I made the decision of not putting attack boost 3 max on my Key Art 9 and leaving it attack boost 4, because the higher I go, I'm going to need that attack boost 4. So I'd rather play the trigger game than playing attack boost 3 max, and that's the most damage I can do, and that's it. That really hinders my play. Now the only reason I didn't put attack boost 4 on my illustrated Halloween Sora, this right here, and I put attack boost 3 max, is because I have no more attack boost 4s, and I would like to continue into this Coliseum. See, with attack boost 4, these guys are dead. So you know attack boost 3 would be enough, attack boost 3 max, it would be more than enough. But again, there's certain stages that it doesn't take them out, and I need that attack boost 4 to trigger, especially for aerial enemies if I 1-turn them. Like the one you guys just saw, me doing the red one with the dogs and the flying dudes, the first one I just did with you guys. That's the one that I need attack boost 4, and also for another one. So I need to keep that attack boost 4 in there. So this is my high tier Coliseum. This is what I'm going to be doing to make top. Attack boost 4 didn't go off. I'm going to reset this and go, unless it took them both. Oh yeah, that's the weaker group. So the first one was the harder group. So I'm going to keep doing this over and over and over until I make top 100. I'm aiming for top 100. Tomorrow I'll give you an update of what I'm doing or how far I made it. But so far, this is what I've been doing. I'm guaranteed top 1000, so I'm getting 2 attack boost 4 maxes. But I want to make that top 100, and I don't know how long it's going to be. I think my buddy Byron, he has some really good medals. His Key Art has like crazy traits on it as well, and so does his Dark Riku. If you guys saw me do that quest, here you go, Moomba. So Byron over here, he does have round 149 in Coliseum, and he's at 193. So I'm pretty sure I had to hit above round 200 to make top 100. So that means if I have to 2-turn or 3-turn everything using like Paralysis Plus with Second Chance 2, I'm going to push it. I'm going to push it this one for sure. The next 2 days, I'm going to go crazy. But here's a little guideline, 149 round, and he's at place 193. And his medals are pretty good as well. He's got the extra attack and the ground. He's got right here, nothing really good. That was garbage. But yeah, he's got everything going on for him, and he also has other Keyblade setups that work out as well. So that's what's going on with Coliseum. I'm going to keep pushing. I'll let you guys know what I do, what other strategies I run into. I was so close to upgrading some Keyblades that I didn't want to upgrade. I was like, I'm going to waste gems. And also, if you can see my jewels, if you guys remember from my Key Art pulls, I'm now at 62,400. That's because I bought all 3 avatar boards or gem boards, the speed, power, and magic, just because I was like, for high tier Coliseum, I really need to increase these multipliers on here. So I just went and I bought all of them, because again, I was about to level up some crazy Keyblades. Like, I was going to increase my Divine Rose to level 30 to get that 2.9 over here. Or sorry, level 35 to get that 2.9 over here. I was going to increase my Mughal Glory to increase her slot. But she ended up not doing like any damage, like worthwhile. Now you guys can see my key art versus the groups, my key art 9 does a debuff. So that's why it's doing so much to the opposite attribute. But if I do this here, this is general defense down ×2. You guys are gonna see my key art beginning here is gonna do a little bit damage, 1,000 something. That's because there's no ×3 or ×6 buff because of the positioning of the Keyblade. So I have to do this, and then when she actually attacks, this attack boost 3 max, 1 damage. She has, the trait she has is -60 aerial, so it does no damage to these guys, so I can't continue on stages like this. And when it comes to the aerial ones, like this, the red stage you saw me do, she didn't get to take them out either. The aerial enemies, she left them with like 5 HP bars, and I was like, why? So she's not strong enough to actually compete in Coliseum. I could increase that multiplier, but again, she's a boosted version, and she has attack boost 3 max, and she does have that -60 aerial, and to aerial enemies she doesn't take them out in one shot, so it's better for me just to use my other one. So that's what's going on with my Coliseum. Again, I might upgrade some Keyblades, but the one I could upgrade it for sure was Sleeping Lion, and I might take this one to level 35, depending if I pull on key art banners tomorrow or not, because tomorrow is the reset. What's today? Today's Wednesday, tomorrow Thursday, so tomorrow Thursday night we should get a tweet saying, hey, this is happening for Friday. If no good banners are coming out or anything, I'm going to continue pulling on the key art banner up to 50,000 jewels, and I'm going to stop at 50,000. So what's that? 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm going to do 4 more pulls on the key art banner to get those other traits. And I really, really want those traits on these medals because I do want to compete in Coliseum. For everybody else, free to play, casuals, cheap to play, Coliseum is just there for endgame. Like, everything else is really easy to me. Coliseum is the only thing that gives me competition anymore on this account, and that's why I'm pulling this much for this banner, because I know this will help me in high tier Coliseum. Now, for everybody else or my free to play account, just pull them and guilt them. Guilt them with pulling like 3 times or 4 times, or pull them once, get one of these key arts, and use Mickey and Brooms, and that's good enough for free to play players. This is just high tier Coliseum polling / setup / skills use and Keyblades. All of this is irrelevant to free to play players and cheap to play players, because you don't want to compete this high in Coliseum, because you're going to waste a bunch of resources that can go towards completing events, completing Proud mode, completing Proud Plus. Coliseum is later on, after you played 400 and something days, or not even that much, but after you played so long, this is where you kind of want to test what you've been doing, how good your game has been, because this is like where the competition's at. Coliseum is just, you need the perfect setups, and this is where it makes you feel good having those perfect setups. So that's my high tier Coliseum video. Again, I'll do some more. If I learn more, I'll let you guys know, and then I'll show you where I'm going to hit. I'll show you the pulls I'm going to do, what I'm going to do to my Keyblades if I increase any Keyblades. I'm going to stick around to not complete the Keyblades, even though I can know. By the way, what I did was a setup so I can actually 1-turn everything. I don't need to increase my Keyblades at all. I can actually just 2-turn everything with second chance 2, because every group, this Kyrie right here, Kyrie 2, she procs in every single one, because second chance 2, you guys can see trigger rate of 69, and then you add all my skill perks on my avatar, the clothing I wear, and trigger for attack, second chance 2 triggers so much. It triggers so much that I can just 2-turn every single enemy if I wanted to with this setup, because this setup does more than enough damage. So I really don't have to waste anything else. I just have to be patient and do 1 round at a time. But that's what? To get to round 200, by doing that, I have to do 86 rounds 1 at a time by 2-turning all the enemies, and that's a lot of hours. So that's why I increased all this to do 1 turning, so I can skip 3 rounds, do a 2-turn round, and then skip 3 rounds, so on and so on. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna end the video here before it gets any longer. That's my high tier Coliseum. Hopefully there's some tips in here to help you out. Let me know what you're doing, what round you're in. Also, I want to know what top 100 is at the moment. I'm probably just gonna ask my Discord and ask them what's top 100, but this is just some advice that I've been going through to get through these high tier Coliseums. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.